I'm just going to claim it, Ann. Let's take Ann and rousing applause. This would be better than that. Now, my brother had the music on real loud, and it got me whispering. So can y'all turn this down? So I can be a little louder. I've got a raspy voice, my friends. I have been out in the rain all day long, and it's quite. And I just like to wake the folk in the back table up, get them ready to get moving and dance. Is that all right?
Yes.
I am delighted. First of all, I want to spend some time on Ann a little bit. It's hard to run for office. I know many people say there go those politicians, they have it good. But we truly need her expertise down at the county. And she can do it if all of you are part of her organization. And so I just want you to realize what a difference she will make. There is no elected woman in the Harris County government of African American descent. And then what did I say in 2013? No elected woman of African American descent in Harris County. Does she need to be elected?
Yes.
She will be a representative of all of the people. I've seen Ann represent this entire county. But don't we need the breadth and depth of diversity that Barbara George and this great school stand for? Let Ann stand up again and let them give you a rousing applause. We'll get those hands moving. And I have to instruct her in the first responsibility of an elected person or candidate is to make sure that her husband stands up. Husband, please stand up. Give him a very big applause. I call that Paul Pickett. Let me thank Bedelia, Benjamin, and this entire committee. Clara Hayes and her mom, who is here. Clara is my Facebook friend. And if you don't think you can reach elected persons, ask Clara. She put this on my Facebook, and obviously she got me. Not knowing what it was, Facebook said show up, and it was from Claire, and you know her. And I'm sure she hasn't changed since 1983 when the class was graduating. But I also want to acknowledge, thank you very much, Wendy Jefferson, Yolanda Howard, Sandra Ford, Yvonne Hernandez, Valerie Strauss. Are you all here?
Yes.
All right. We have to give thanks for thank you to Frederick Whitaker, photographer.
Yes.
All right, if you have taken my picture, you're not working. Taylor Little Robin. DJ raised up this sound for me. Tyrone Hayes. And I have been to this great church before. Let me thank the pastor and the New Faith Church family. Let's give them a big hand. The New Faith Church family. I've been to youth meetings here. I've worshiped here. They just seem to be all around. And then the New Faith members in here. Any of you are New Faith members? Well, we sure want to thank them for their kindness. Let me give my neighbor a big shout out. A gentleman that taught my husband. And he indicated to me that he had to do a lot of work with him. But apparently he was a giant, a friend of the Honorable Barbara Jordan, and she entrusted to him the new school and the naming of it after it was the Houston Technical School. And I want Assistant Principal Cole to stand up. I know you need her. There we are, and thank you so very much for getting here. But I will tell you, since I am in the midst of education right now, we need some more assistant principal codes in our schools. I know many of you are parents or have already seen your young people go through the system, and I hope many of them are going on to various places to improve their lives. But you know that what we need in HISD and elsewhere is good old-fashioned post-life, and not old, but assistant principal code and many of the teachers that you have. Is that right?
Yes.
Let's give all of them a big hand. Now, I just want to give you just a few moments. I know there are tributes and much to come, but I could not come here without a moment of reflection on this giant of a woman who I had the privilege of having her endorse me for the candidacy of the United States Congress. That is an honor. I've had the opportunity to work with the Honorable Barbara Jordan, and if you all have calculated my age, I went to high school when I was 2, and I was 12 years old. And every time somebody starts, and they start going 2, 4, 6, 8. But I had the privilege of being around the Honorable Barbara Jordan. She was out of Congress, obviously, when I ran for her seat. But boy, it was very good to be able to claim her, to have her be on the radio for me, and to give me encouragement as I returned back to Texas after finishing law school and working a little bit in D.C. Then the Honorable Barbara Jordan was kind enough to open her congressional office, and I thought that was a big deal to sit down and talk about what you would do when you came back to Houston, Texas. Mentoring was one of her strengths. And she wound up going back to teaching, or going to teaching, after coming out of the United States Congress at the Lyndon Baines Johnson School of Public Affairs. But Barbara was in the tradition of Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall, and she believed in challenging the system. This is your first reunion since 1983. And I believe that it is crucial that you do it again. But more importantly, that you just look a little bit about her values and what you felt as you became the third, I think it was, graduating class of the Barbara Jordan High School. Barbara Jordan High School for Careers. And to think of what that school did for you and how privileged you felt in being able to be a graduate of that school. Now, one thing that I want to say to you, how many of you are still in the Houston area? Let me see hands. A good number of you. Barbara Jordan needs you. Is the current principal here? I don't want to ignore that person. Is the principal come? The school needs you. Let's thank the principal and teachers of that school. Let's give them a hand in their absence and the young people. But the school needs you. The school system today is so different. There's little respect for those long years, the style of teaching that allows teachers to not only embrace but to discipline. I'm sure some of you got a little bit of that. And as you look back and let somebody testify, I testify, and it made a difference in your life. Doesn't you hear you shout out, did it make a difference in your life? Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you, brothers and sisters. Did it make a difference? Yeah. Yes, it did. And I believe that love and discipline works. Now let me tell you why we need you in these schools. And I promise you I'm going to cut this 4-hour speech down so y'all can get home tomorrow morning. Just a few years ago, in about 2010, 2011, somebody came up with a great idea. Let's get rid of the auto collision class. Let's have some more art history. I love art history. I took it in college. A good place to have your mind days off while you're trying to get ready for physics. But there was this movement that we need to get all sophisticated and leave out the nuts and bolts that give people opportunity and careers. I can't tell what all of you are doing, but you look mighty happy and mighty prosperous. And you went to Barbara Jordan. The good news is that there was a principal there, a teacher, I think Mr. Rodriguez, who could not believe they were getting rid of that class. If you travel on 59 or 45 at any time during the week, Sunday morning, and you don't understand the value of auto collision, someone who knows what to do and won't have you grumbling and coming out saying, now why did I have to pay $15,000 for that finger? You got somebody that knows what they're doing and that you can trust. You see, as far as I know, we still need an electrician. Can't find one. Still need a carpenter. Still need a brick mason. Still need a cosmetologist or a barber. I know there's many others. And you need the tech that's coming up now. There's no doubt. I don't mind us moving with the time for you. But if you realistically can deal with an auto collision and you got a job when you get out, is it worth keeping? That's why we need you. That's why we need you. To be able to speak truth to power. And to be able to be effectively a leader on behalf of the young people that are already in that school. Out of your class, I can't call the name, but one person came to me who is a leading force on the protection of children. And she is a representative of missing and exploited children. I chair the Congressional Children's Caucus in the United States Congress, and you've got a classmate, stand up, who is the regional director here, and you need to join her. Because she works to protect children. There is value in all of you. There is value in the name of Barbara Jordan. And so as Ann said, I'm going to give you a little bit of Washington and then wrap to a close. Because I want you looking and listening, because when I see people whispering, I'm going to have to walk to the table like Oprah. To get you to look at this way. Washington is both divided and confused. Because the only bosses that we have in the United States Congress, the most powerful lawmaking body in the world, because of the amount of power that is in Congress. Because the Constitution made 3 branches of government, and they're equal. Many of you think I elected the President of the United States, and he sits on top and he does in the eyes of the world. But the Constitution has the Congress. You gotta fix it. Just like you need air, you gotta fix it. Some of you don't live in this area. But the voices of the people need to be heard that are rational and reasonable. What sense does it make to not extend unemployment benefits because you're late? Anybody make any sense to that? Keep people from paying rent and mortgage? We're still fighting. It gets cut off on December 28th. And I asked the president just now, can you use any of your executive power to extend it? Because our friends, Republicans, would not vote before they turn the lights out to extend the benefits into the new year for the folk that are going to be cut off on December 28th. They were interviewing people in South Carolina and said, what do you want us to do? We'll be in the streets. You need a Congress that reflects Barbara Jordan's values. The only thing that we want in America is the promise of America, what the Honorable Barbara Jordan said. And the same thing with the Affordable Care Act. I bet if I interviewed a few, I'm not going to do that. Be mindful of folks blocking you and telling you something is bad and it's really good for you. Oh, we understand anybody that's been on a website and had their fist knocking on the glass or knocking on a digital DirecTV or any other that's gone late and you bang with the TV trying to get that going or working with the wires. Technology is a problem. All change is not progress. But I will tell you that the basic infrastructure of the Affordable Care Act that nobody hears about. Your children don't have a job, it's pay your insurance until the age of 26. Nobody is thrown off or denied insurance by the big guys if you have a pre-existing disease. And those of us from diverse communities, diabetes, high blood pressure, sickle cell, acne, being pregnant was a pre-existing condition. And then one of the ones that I tell people that they do not know is that I have seen many people, I've called many hospitals on behalf of my constituents in the old days and said, let them please say, But when you reach the lifetime caps, they will knock on your door. We have a wheelchair, and let me show you the door. Family members sitting around the bedside. There's no lifetime caps. So I encourage you to go to your local multi-service center. You can register there. They call themselves navigators. Don't like to be on the web? Go where there's a phone and a human being. Don't deny yourself. Seniors, we're not bothering your Medicare. Only thing we're doing is closing that donut hole and making your prescriptions cheaper under the Affordable Care Act. When someone is standing in the way blocking you, when Governor Wallace was blocking the folks in the segregated South from getting into university, was it good or bad? It was something good for them, he was blocking. Don't let folks block you. Have your young people, have yourself sign up for the Affordable Care Act. In this last budget, and I know that since all of us are 12 and under, we don't have to worry about it, but the last budget, they were going into Medicare and Social Security. Thank goodness Democrats understood you can have a budget, but you can't take the Medicare and Social Security. The last point that I'm going to give before I finish about who Barbara Jordan is and where we are and why, in fact, your activism is so important, is to let you know that how many people in here have pensions? Anybody want to raise their hand? Anybody have pensions? Oh my Lord, there's only got one of you pensions now. Got a few pensions, okay. Social Security, anything. All right. You earned it, didn't you? The new approach of the day to balance budgets, federal budget, state budget, city budgets, are to take your pensions away, to bring down the contribution of the local entity on the basis we don't have any money. All I can say to you is that if good minds are put together, you can find ways of balancing the budget without taking an individual's pension. That needs your attention. Washington needs your attention. Barbara Jordan High School needs your attention. Our city needs your attention. And out of that will come the kind of better quality of government that we need. As I was coming here, a lawyer spoke to me on the phone and said he was going down to Jasper, Texas. Anybody have any recollection of Jasper, Texas? Good folk? But it has some history, does it not? And so he was going down to some pastors because a gentleman who chose to love a woman of another color was found dead. He happened to be an African American. Now you would say, well, he must be going down to his funeral. No, he was going down because there were at least 17 similar killings that no one had determined who did it. Married to somebody of a different color, found dead. Jasper, Texas, and America. Now we are not claiming how America is not good, but what we are saying is we need to be engaged. We need not say that was the old days. We need not say that was yesteryear. And so as you come together in this 30th year, as Ann spoke to you about the right to vote, be very clear that as Barbara Jordan worked to be part of the continuation of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, and the reason why I say that, because I'm going to have to go to the U.S. Justice Department, of which I'm on the Judiciary Committee, to get an investigation in Jasper, Texas again. All of that comes about because you have a representative since Barbara, because of the Voting Rights Act, that crafted a district that allows individuals to vote for a person of their choosing. Not a person that only represents black people, but a person that has a sentiment and a sense of caring and representation that wants what I think you want, justice. Just justice. And sometimes, because those districts don't spread themselves to Jasper or beyond, they call in from those places to say, help us. And so I want you to be able to take advantage and knowing what bounty came from the lady whose name you bear. The Voting Rights Act created any number of opportunities for Mickey Leland, Craig Washington, who represented this seat, and now myself. The maiden seat, the first seat in Texas and the Deep South, held by the Honorable Barbara Jordan. And then many of your representatives, the Dean, Symphony Thompson, covers this area. Harold Dutton covers this area. People who are accessible and ready to help. So my friends, let me just share these words that hopefully will carry you into the new year with a sense of urgency. Get ready. A sense of urgency. The vote is precious. A sense of urgency. Yes, there are impediments. Yes, we're still in the courtroom fighting over the Voting Rights Act. I am on the Judiciary Committee. We are trying to save it because the Supreme Court eliminated a portion of it. Oh, what would Barbara Jordan think now? We got to write legislation in the United States government to fix it. But we fixed it on your shoulders. We fixed it because we represent all of you whose claim of the right to vote is precious and should not be denied. Don't squander it. Use it, whether it's for mayor, city council. Find the person who will step in the gap when there is danger ahead. Not run this way. There's a politician going down the road, but run toward it to block the danger from the people that they represent. Barbara Jordan said, a spirit of harmony can only survive if each of us remembers with bitterness and self-interest. Remember what I said. Folks in Washington, I don't want to raise the unemployment insurance. I don't want to put money into transportation. I don't want to put money into education. What is this? I got mine, you get yours. So when bitterness and self-interest seem to prevail, we must remember that we have a common destiny. That should be the driving force. Not me's and I's, but the we's and the ours. She said this, the majority of the American people still believe that every single individual in this country is entitled to just as much respect, just as much dignity as every other individual. How about that? We could just understand. Well, Duck Dynasty has every right to be on television. People were talking about one thing they said, but nobody got into the weeds and read that they said that the 1940s was a happy time for African Americans. I remember the stories being told by my uncles coming back from World War II, sitting in the back of the bus, the back of the train, getting off the train, because although they put on uniforms, they came